Let me talk to you about the new consumer. First of all, let me talk to you. Now, if my job in marketing is helping you to solve problems, let's just say that what would be the old problems and what are the new problems. Now, let me explain to you what the old problems are, because maybe deep down you are marketing to problems that no longer exist. Now, 20 years ago, these were the problems that the consumer had. The first problem was money. Lack of. Now, what did we see in the marketplace 20 years ago? We saw an explosion of credit. There was a time that American Express, a card, had its privileges. You were invited to have an American Express card. Now, a physical cat in America got a credit card. Pussycat, a cat. They wanted to see if anybody could get a credit card, and yes, they could. And you don't need to get one credit, you can get as many as you want. You can get 20. I know a person who's got $250,000 in personal debt on credit cards. Money's not an issue. Even in Harvey Norman, we solved this problem, because what did Harvey Norman do? Yeah. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. And I went to New Zealand recently, and they did the biggest I've seen, 60 months. Fundamentally, if you've got a pulse, I'll take your money. So I reckon that's not a big deal. So if you say we've got finance, you know what people are going to say? So what? You're expected to have finance. It's like, la-di-da-di-da-di. Tell me something that is expected now. Now, the next consumer problem 20 years ago was choice. Now, this is pre-internet. And what did the market do? It actually started to introduce new pack sizes, new ways of doing things, cutting down, packages, doing smaller, larger sizes. We have seen an explosion of choice. So much so that I fundamentally believe the answer is deletion, not addition. So much so, because if you have too much, you will confuse the customer. You are adding to their problems. And the last consumer problem 20 years ago, let me just find out what it was. It's just come off my head. I wrote it down, said I should know this. Ah, yes. Was availability. There was a time in Australia that you had to go to a butcher by midday on a Saturday. There was a time in Australia where late night shopping was Thursday night and Saturday morning. Yeah, absolutely. It was insane. Now, fundamentally, the issue of availability has now been completely and absolutely solved. Even in a physical sense, many organisations are extending their trading hours consistently. Even if you want food at midnight, you can go across the road right now to City Extra and they're opening 24 hours a day. So here's my thing, okay? If the problem has already been solved, don't market. Because it's almost like saying, well, hang on here, these have already been solved. Why would you do that? So the question is, what are the new problems? What are the new problems? But also, I'll tell you what the new problems is, but the animal has changed. Because this has been transformational. See, I'm born 1963. I would be considered a baby boomer, right? Now, from a marketing perspective, I'm a dog. Now, I say that in a nice way. What's the characteristic of a dog? loyalty. There is an interesting experiment called Pavlov's dog. Have you ever heard of the experiment? That fundamentally I could condition a dog that if I rang a bell, okay, the dog would salivate and come. Here we go. Now, fundamentally, traditional marketing and advertising in the 50s was very much based on a simple philosophy that if I push marketing to you, you would be a dog, you would hear the bell and you would buy. Got it? Makes a lot of sense. Now, you're not marketing to dogs anymore. You're marketing to cats. What's the characteristic of a cat? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What is a cat's fundamental language they tune into? What is the language of marketing? What is the language of staff communication? What is the language of salesmanship? What is the language of entrepreneurs? How do you persuade people? Do you? I think that everybody listens to one radio station. I actually think that the universal language of all communication across barriers, across cultures, is WIIFM. What's in it for me? And I think your marketing needs to focus less on you, but more on what you are going to do for your target markets. Because I really don't care about you. I only really care about me. Does that make sense? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? And have a look at a cat. I've got 2 cats. Man, when they want something, they like you. But they're not the most loyal creatures I've ever met. So here, you're getting frustrated because people aren't loyal. What? Cats will never be loyal. Let them be cats.